All right. So, hello, everybody. I hope
Hi.
Hello.
you are all doing well. I am Nariman Mansour, a full-time teacher in the computer science department. And today I am so happy to be moderating this webinar, which is about a group of IT experts coming together to share their experiences, their career path, some advice, challenges expected, and maybe even to give us some advice towards the end about how are they surviving the pandemic, so that we all learn from each other's and cope in better ways. So let's get started. Maybe what I would like to do is to start by having each one of our panelists introducing themselves instead of me doing it in a very boring manner. So this way, if each one of you can just introduce yourselves by giving us your name, your job title, and maybe a little bit about yourself that we might not know or find interesting. Who would like to start?
I was
Go ahead, Sarah.
okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Dara Akamurkarimi. I am a programmer analyst at Desjardins. So, I was also a student at La Salle 2 years ago. And I am here to share with you my experience. And as Naiman said, if I can give advices, I would be happy to do it. So, a few things about me. Maybe it's obvious, but I am a woman in IT. So I hope it's obvious. So,
You don't need
so
to worry about that, Sarah.
it was also a little challenge that to be in IT, but it's still a pleasure for me. And I think that there is a lot of women that are questioning themselves on how it is, what daily life of a programmer, also the struggles that you can meet. If I can reassure everyone, there is no struggle if you believe in yourself. So it's the little thing that I can tell about myself. I think that many students can identify themselves to me because I'm also an immigrant here. So I did in the past other diplomas in engineering and in management. And when I came here 4 years ago now, when I came here, I started everything from scratch to study computing. So I will maybe talk about it later. But that is me.
I think that you added something that is very important. We actually all here, by coincidence, as a panel, happen to be immigrants as well, and we do identify with most of our students in that way. Thank you, Sarah. Dara.
My name is Dara Akamurkarimi, and I was a student at College La Salle about almost 20 years ago. And then I started my career in IT, then I worked, then at the same time I studied, I gathered other diplomas too. And 2 years and a half ago, I started to be a teacher in programming at La Salle. I teach a variety of programming courses. And
Tell us something, Dara, about you that we don't know.
I am
That
an immigrant.
the students would love to know.
I am an immigrant.
No, you don't say. um,
Yeah.
so did you go to pursue, let's say, a university after to improve your career options? What did you do after you finished the diploma? Like you said, you pursued this further.
I went to ETS, to École Technologie Supérieure, because the DEC that I had from Collège La Salle was enough as a prerequisite to go to ETS, but I had a part-time job in IT at the same time. And then I finished that. I worked about 6 years Then I went back to get a master's degree too from the same school.
Okay, you bring something that's very nice that I get asked often about from the students about what if I want to start working, either because of certain financial issues, or because they're not the type of learning personalities that like to go to school all the time. So the fact that you're giving this wonderful example that you worked at the same time you were studying part-time shows them proof that it can be done.
Mhm, mhm. It can
That's
be
wonderful.
done. And usually the workplace are really really helpful. They help you if you want to work. For example, I remember while I was doing my bachelor, I was working 3 days per week,
Mhm.
and they accommodate me to work like 25 hours instead of 40 hours.
And may I ask you, were you working in IT?
Yeah, at Page Jaune, Yellow Page.
Okay. So you were able to find with your deck a part-time job in IT while you were pursuing your bachelor's degree in computer science.
Absolutely. I just want to clarify this, that going to university is more of a personal decision than growing in IT. You can grow in IT within DEC, and having going to get the rest of it is, I mean, other diplomas. I mean, I have friends who did DEC, and after that they did some certifications on,
Mhm,
for example, like a specialty on Oracle, on Java, etc., etc.,
mhm.
and they are very successful too.
Yeah, and I think also I advise the students that if this is where they decide to end their academic path, that is fine if that's what they want.
Mhm.
Just depends how far they want to go in the pay scale on
Yeah.
at the promotional level, because some companies absolutely require certain levels of degrees and diplomas. You know, I'm an example of someone when I was doing my bachelor's degree in computer science. I didn't get the ability to get a job in IT at the same time. So I had two part-time jobs, one as a teacher in high school for English language, and the other one was a radio host
Mhm.
for three
Oh,
times a week for shows that had to do with music and top 20, top 40 talk shows and
wow.
stuff. It had nothing to do with IT, but you know, it helped me become a better communicator and a better speaker, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Dara. So, Alex, what about you?
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Steinhauser-Wübert. Um,
We need to write that down, Alex.
Not necessary. Just call me Alex Wübert, like in my background. It's gonna be easier. No worries. Well, I think my story is a little bit similar that everyone. So yes, left my country behind to come to Canada, starting from scratch. And yes, like Dara and Sarah, I was a student at La Salle College as well. Yes, I have some backgrounds on Brazil. I have a university, bachelor degree in engineering. Then I finished my master's there, and then I come to Canada. I had a business there for many years. Then I don't have anymore because my focus here is in Canada. And then I started to become a teacher here in, thank God, in La Salle College that I love. And it's gonna be fun, I guess. I love to be I love teach. I think for me it's a fun activity and try to become like that and try to pass this to my students. So I don't know what I can add. Plus, something that's no one about me. Maybe that I'm a motorcycle pilot. That can
You're
help.
dangerous.
Yes, yeah.
I hate that, but
Alex, did you always know you were going to be in computer science? Is that something, that's my next question to the panelists, is that when you
no.
were 15 or 16, when you were in high school, did you know that this is eventually what you
Well,
wanted to do?
for me, no, because first I came from Brazil and everything is a little bit late in Brazil in IT, let's say like that. And especially where I came from a humble family that don't have any possibilities to have technology. So when I was in high school, basically everything was traditional with no cell phones, no smartphones, no tablets, just notebooks, pencils. But when I drive to university, then I start to have contact with these technologies. And then when I have my own business, again, is nothing related to IT. And then the market is starting to bring me to this reality, the need of the clients. They ask me, hey, Alex, we need this solution. And I had no idea what is it. And then I starting to make my own research. Then I starting to make my own path to find that solution. So that I was into. But when I was a teenager, I had no idea that I could be here with amazing
Yeah,
people.
I think this is different for us, for our generation, even though even our generations are different from one another compared to, let's say, if I compare it now to my kids' generation. And mind you, I'm not the type of parent who has given smart devices to my kids from a young age. Um, but I feel like now no one can use the excuse you had mentioned, Alex, to say I didn't have access to technology. Kids have technology fed to them.
Yeah,
They're born with it. It's become an extension of their bodies. So
yeah.
yeah, we have a different type of generation today. But thank you for sharing that. We're glad to have you on board, that you decided to make that career change. What about you, Sarah?
So for me, it's really a good question because I think there is many things that can influence this decision. For me, I was always passionate about science. When I was a kid, when I came back from school, I was running at home to see the documentary channel. So I think it was a sign that I was going to do something related to it in the future. So after I come from Algeria. So in Algeria, when you have your diploma or your high school diploma, um, the the grade that you have really it's really precise. The grade that you have will you will choose your specialty
It will
depending.
dictate what you can do
Exactly.
as a specialty.
So for me, I wanted to try IT because um, also when I was a teenager, we had we started to have the smartphones. It was a bit expensive. I didn't have one, but it was expensive, but it was new for us. So all of us wanted to understand how it works. So I was curious about it, and I think that I start to like IT at that moment. So at the university, when I had to do my choice, I could not choose IT because I missed a 0.03 to do it.
Oh my God. Look at the world today.
Yes.
The world we live in today, and imagine this and see how something like this dictates the future of somebody. Unbelievable. Yeah.
So I had to take my second choice, that was engineering, and I didn't regret that because I learned a lot, really a lot in engineering. In because you have to deeply study everything. So it was also an experience that I got there in the university in Nigeria that really trained me to life because it was not that easy. The university was far. Um, we had really to work hard because engineering is something that is really demanding. So after that, I was still in Algeria. I wanted to try management because I know that I have some skills in that, and I wanted to improve it. And then I got lucky. I get lucky because I had the chance to come here, to immigrate here, and I had to make a choice between continuing my studies in engineering to finish to do a PhD,
Hmm.
or starting everything from scratch. So not even the university, but the CEGEP.
Hmm.
So I choose the CEGEP, not the easiest way, but I was sure about it because I had the chance to study what I wanted to study at the beginning.
Hmm.
So
So you went back to your first passion.
yes,
So dreams do come true after all.
yes. And I didn't regret it because sometimes what I lived between that
Mhm,
period, it was really necessary to give me the will and
mhm.
also the strength to really work hard because now I got this chance and
Mhm.
I didn't want to waste it.
Yes,
So I really worked hard
yes.
to succeed.
Thank you for saying that actually, because this is something very important that many of our students, given that they have the profile of an immigrant, they struggle with that. Depending on the background that they have built in the past, they feel that they have to start from scratch. They need to adapt to a new culture, a new career path. They have to go back to school to be able to be ready to get hired. And I always tell them to hang in there, because whatever they have gone through throughout their whole life, the skills, the hardships, it's all it all had sculpted the personality that they have today, that they absolutely needed to go through. And now whatever added skills they are building is what's going to help them eventually find a job, build their careers, succeed. And then everything they've done in the past is going to come back and become recognizable. It might not be recognized at this moment, but there's going to come a time where it is going to be added value to their personality. So thank you, Sarah, for mentioning that. Dara, what about you? What did you choose this from the beginning?
Well, I got a student visa to Canada. Then I came to Canada. Then I had a conversation at HEC, which is the management school. Then I called my dad and I told him that I got the letter now that I'm definitively accepted. And he told me, okay, now your visa is okay. I said, yes, the visa is okay. He said, so it's time to change and go to IT. I said, why IT? But he didn't call it IT at the time. He did computer, go to computer. And we we have to understand that we are talking 98, 99. So as Nariman mentioned, it's another generation. So before coming to, and this is the absolute truth, I never knew what is a computer. My first class at La Salle was with Hamid Genawi, which is a teacher with lots of experience. And I got to his class and I saw students are looking at the screen and they are listening because they have headphones. They are listening to something that I cannot listen. So Hamid told me, please, new student. I said, yes, just sit. Then I sat and I was pushing the button on the monitor and there was nothing coming out. So I was keep pushing. And there was a guy beside me. Then he looked at me like bizarre. What is he doing? Then I told him, how can you turn on this thing? And he thought that I'm joking, but I really didn't know how to turn on a computer. Then he told me over there. Then I looked at under the desk. Then I saw a box. Then I said, how come I have to? I'm talking about the monitor, and he's asking me. I mean, maybe at my in my head, I was thinking, I'm talking about the TV and he's showing me something on there. But
Yeah.
anyway, this is the real start
You
of
started, what you're trying to tell us is you started from nothing.
nothing.
Yes.
I mean, if when I tell this to some students today, they don't believe me because, nowadays with the smartphone, as you said, it becomes the extension of their body. And there are research on this that it becomes, and I read an article that a person took teenagers and they had their smartphone in their hands. And then somebody is touching the smartphone, in their brain, there are some signals and they feel it because the brain is elastic. So it sees the smartphone exactly like a part of the body. So you tell to this generation that, yeah, I arrived, I didn't know, I have never seen a computer. Or if I saw a computer, I didn't know this is a computer. So that's my start.
That's incredible. If I can share very quickly, actually, computer science was not my choice either in the beginning. It was medicine. I grew up all my life wanting to help people, wanted to reach out to people and fix things in their
Mhm,
lives. And for me, it was fixing their health.
mhm,
And I was in the States at the time, and it wasn't possible for me to do medicine because of my immigration status and so many different things back then. But then eventually, what was the next thing? It was kind of like you, Dara. It was
mhm,
suggested by my family. Well,
mhm.
then science, not medicine,
So,
go to computer. So that was that's how computer science, and the first time I used the computer was in high school. And I had difficulty with it. I think I was one of the only people in my class because I had immigrated from Lebanon to the United States, that I have never seen a computer before in my life. And here I was in front of an Apple computer, and I had to know how to use it. And this might seem so funny for the students who are probably listening to
yeah,
us right now. Like, they might think
yeah,
we're dinosaurs.
yeah,
Like, who are these people? How could you
yeah,
not know? But I
yeah,
think this is exactly like today. Every time there's a new technology that comes out and you haven't played with it or you haven't dealt with it,
yeah,
that you have to adapt. So we had to adapt to that. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, regardless, my whole point is that even if it's not your first choice, if you really want it, if you are passionate about it, you can succeed.
yeah.
So what I would like to know, and I'll start with you, Dara, since we were still talking, is what does a professional day look like in your life? Now
Ah,
here I'm talking professional, but I want you, because we all have different profiles. You have a family. I have a family. I like the fact that Sarah is single, so we could see her profile. Alex also has is married with a family. So I would have liked to have maybe more single people on in the panel to share their experience and how we are juggling versus they are juggling their
yeah.
career path. But maybe, yes, Sarah's single for now, but not for too long. We're working on that. So how does a day in your life look like? And here it's because I want the students to see how can we juggle, because they're always complaining, right? I have
Yeah.
my part-time job, miss, I have my sports, I have my friends, I want to go out. If we could show them some tips of how we are able to juggle all of that and balance it, that would be really nice.
Well, because I already asked you and you say I don't cut my answer and I say the truth. The truth is my day I start at 3 a.m. I work till about, I mean, from 3 a.m. about till 8 p.m. And I'm in front of computer almost this whole time, 7 days a week. And this is during the semester. Of course, in between the semesters, we have 2, 3 weeks. Now this is vacation and I enjoy life. I mean, it doesn't mean that when I work, I don't enjoy. Okay. I really, really, really enjoy. And I put, I mean, from my end, what can I do to make it work? Well, one day I asked myself, if the day was 36 hours, it would help me a lot. Then I say, okay, but I can make it not 36, but I can make it maybe 30 hours.
But I bet you, Dara, if you are in a 36-hour type of day, you're going to ask for 48. No?
Absolutely. Let me tell you something, uh, Nariman, that I tell to my friends, my students too. Being successful career-wise and being a happy person, this could be two different things.
Absolutely. I agree
So
with you.
so this is, it doesn't mean that everybody has to work 80 hours per week. No, but we have to clarify what is my objective and what really makes me happy. If it's working, we have big shots in IT, like the CEO of Apple, Steve Jobs. And I'm sure that if he was alive, He was keeping working 120 hours or whatever he could per week. So it doesn't mean that I do it, that everybody has to do it. It makes me happy. So if it makes me happy, I continue doing it because this is what makes me happy.
Okay. So your point is that you have to love it. You have to have the
Absolutely.
passion for it. And
Mhm.
then you're not looking at it necessarily as a job.
No,
It's what you like to do and you
it's
pass your time doing.
absolute. It's fun. It's for me. It's absolute fun. I mean, I prefer teaching and coding than going to usually going to outside and walk. So
Okay.
or
But
going
please
to
tell me you still go for walks.
I go, yeah.
We still want to promote diversity of activities here. So what about you, Sarah?
Sorry, I unmuted. So for me, in my job, so as an analyst programmer in a bank, so it's pretty. I cannot tell that I stopped to work because my job require a lot of availability. So because we can get emergencies anytime. So I need to always be focused and be ready. So I can, the hours that I make during the week really depends. And I can work like overtime, but also during the night. It really depends when they need me. And if there is an emergency, I need to wake up quickly and find the solution quickly. So for me, IT it's really a part of my life. Um, I, uh, I work in it. I like it. So if it's something as Dara said, if you do something that you like and you are talented in it, it's really the recipe to succeed. Because as soon as you didn't like it anymore, even if you are talented in it, it changed everything. So to be honest with you guys, um, waking up during the night, working that much with all the stress, really impacted this part. I still really love IT, but if you in your career have to make choices about how it's not just about working in IT. You need to really know what they will ask you for about, and if you can commit to that. So if you decide to commit to that, get ready and do it. So as I told you, for me, luckily I am an active person. Really, I cannot stop to work. It's in my blood. It's if I'm not working for my job, I will do something else. I cannot
So
stop.
if I can ask you, Sarah, when you say you said that you have your regular working hours, but then when there's a problem
Mhm.
because of your job as an analyst, you have to work even at night or on the weekends because if there's an issue, it needs to be resolved. So
Yes.
part of your job is to analyze the cause of the problem, identify the problem, and to resolve it. And that's why it's very critical for you to be available
Mhm.
anytime.
Mhm.
Correct?
So here you need really to be really organized. You need to know well your job. You need to not panic. So it's something that is really important. You need to focus quickly. So when you are doing your research, to search the bug, to search the problem. So it's something that is it's really important for you to, because we have really a short amount of time. Each minute that pass is dramatical. So the skills that you need in that, it's really to not panic, to stay focused, to every day learn, because you don't wait to have the problem in front of you to read about it or learn about it. Get prepared. And also a lot of communication, because I am really glad to have a great team in my job, because the fact that we help each others, we get advices too, we get help. Also, there is a part of communication, as I told you, that is really important. So if I found the origin of the problem that is related to something in the system that is not in my team, not in my direction, but somewhere else, I need to coordinate between many teams and many experts and work together. So, and I need to tell them what they have to do, because I have to find the problem and they have to fix it in their side.
So you're constantly in problem solving state of mind.
Yes.
So that should
Always.
make you a very positive person.
Yes. that is really
survive.
important.
To stay
So,
focused. Okay.
yes.
Thank
So,
you,
yes.
Sarah. Yes, go ahead.
No, I was done.
You're done. Okay, so I would like to hear from Alex. What is a day like in your life then, in your field?
Well, a day life in my work can be completely a mess, depending how it's going to be the day. Can be a nightmares. But again, guys, I think we have the same approach, because when we do what we do, focus like my hobby, my passion, I think it's going to be easier to pass through these challenges, right? So for me, like I have many tasks to do in my day, because I have my classes to organize, I have my family to deal with, I have a business that I have really co-workers that with me that I love that much. And then to organize all this the day, I try to be most efficient as I can. So first, I prioritize everything I have to do it, not by the day, but every weekend I organize my week, at least a week. I used to do this by month. Then I got a stroke and I stopped it. So now I started to organize my week by prioritizing and be efficient. So on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and goes. So basically I wake up at 6, 5 sometimes to organize the kids to go to school. And then my classes start at 8. So I must be sure that be at school at 8. Otherwise, I'm going to listen to my kids in the back. Like right now, they are running around some places. I don't know where. I hope they are alive, not fighting.
Oh my God.
And then, yes, so, and then after that, I have to give my classes. I have to correct my exams. I have to deal with clients. Sometimes I have to deal with the business. At the same time, sometimes I have to deal with some fire with the clients when it happens, depends. But nowadays, I'm trying to organize, not have that anymore. And then I think as well, and my days at the end of the day, I try to answer all my students, because for me, my students are not numbers, they are persons, they have feelings, they have needs. So for me, it's important to give them feedbacks, to give them answers, to give them reasons. So that consumes a lot of energy, a lot of time, so they deserve, why not? And then at the next day, I try again to verify if I did everything I had to do it, prioritize again, and feel what am I in my path. And again, if that is not in my scale of prioritizing, I try to go skipping for the next day and next path and try to survive like that.
It's
But
very
again,
important that you mentioned that, actually, because I don't want them to see a bunch of overachievers who are working from early morning hours all the way till night, and to say that's not what I want for myself, or that this is not what I want to do. No, it's just part of the different careers that we have, where this is a requirement, plus the fact that we love to always improve ourselves. We always want to get better and better as human beings and as professionals. But it doesn't mean that they have to start out that way, right?
yeah, I think it's not a good. My point, like I think, was like Dara and Sarah. Like I used it to sleep 2 hours a day. But again, that's not, guys, if you're listening this, don't do this, okay? Organize, prioritize, and then you can do everything you want. Try to have your social life. You can have your own personal life. You can have a professional life. But for us, it's hard to manage this because we love to do this. Like Dara said, once I remember my wife asking me, hey, Alex, what are you going to do it? Okay, let's search a new technology. I got almost divorced at that time, so look at me no, we go to shopping right now. So for me, it was like fun that day, so I could stay on the computer all days.
So
But
what are
this,
the hobbies, maybe if each one of you can just give me a like very quick one or two hobbies that you do
Mhm.
to keep you amongst all this craziness and priorities and demands, that keep you happy, that keep you zen.
Yes, I avoid video games. I love video games. So to get outside of IT world, I really like to practice sports, any kind of sports. I like soccer. Hello, Brazil. And yes, I love my motorcycle as well. So my hobbies are practicing sports, and when I am alone without no one around, I like to ride my motorcycle like a normal person.
Like a normal person. What about you, Sarah?
So about myself, just a little point. I agree with Alex. As soon as you need to put limits, because we have all different lives, we have different schedules, and you don't need, as Dara said, to work 24 hours in it to succeed. No, as soon as you are still happy in it, you will succeed. As soon as it's something that is toxic for you, or you are not happy in there, you have to put a limit, because you will not succeed after that. You will just destroy your health and your mental state. So it's really important, each one of you, to identify these limits. Maybe it will be 8 hours per day of work, maybe 12 hours, maybe 4 hours, maybe 2 hours. As soon as you are productive and you are happy, and you need to stop when you feel that is not okay anymore. So for myself, my hobbies, I think that it's really important and to exercise and dance. I think it's the two things that I do the most, because I really
You
want.
shake the stress out.
Yeah, I think it's just. So it's really something that makes me think about nothing during that. So maybe also cooking a little bit, but makes me fat. So I prefer exercising. So let's choose the right.
I think that for me in the house, when I really do feel exhausted or overwhelmed, you know, in my family, the funny part is that my family is super happy because cakes just don't stop coming out of the oven. So there's a lot of baking happening and variety of cooking that is just, and that is how I just de-stress because I'm doing something completely different.
Yeah.
So I understand you, Sarah, but we just need to make sure that it's maybe done in a healthy way. But my kids can run around and burn the calories. It's fine. It's more me. I would have to worry about that. What about you, Dara?
Uh, I went to this counselor when I got to Canada at HEC, and I came from a country from which there is no lots of opportunity. And just to wrap it up, still having a good gene is important. Means that still who is your daddy, who is your mommy, from which family is still important. So I came here and I see a lot of opportunities. So I talked to this counselor. I say, I want to change it from business management to another field. And she kept telling me, what do you like? And I was as like a hungry immigrant telling her, replying that which field make more money. So, and years passed, I mean, 20 something years passed from that day. And now I understand that you have to love what you do. If you love what you do, each moment you are not thinking about, oh, this code will run or this problem is solved. You are enjoying it. And it doesn't matter how many hours, it doesn't. And they ask me, what is your hobby? I mean, solving problem. I mean, I enjoy solving problem. And it might sound bizarre. Yes, I am a man. I like cars. I like Alex mottos, and I don't have one, but Alex can share with me. So
I want to witness that.
yeah,
You guys going off on your motorcycles.
of course. But anyway, the thing is, and I want to underline this because this is really important. so we have an open house at La Salle, and we had an open house a couple of days ago, and some student, they were telling me, I have no clue about IT, but I come to IT. So I was seeing myself years ago, and I was telling them, listen, by starting a field and getting into it, you will start liking it. And that's true. Of course, some of us have more talent in playing a guitar or piano or making some math, and this matters. But I think when they get in touch with technology or with the field that any field that they register for, the the uh, the 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 love comes for the field, because now they know, oh, now I did one course, I can do an interface. Before I couldn't do it, so I can do some stuff. So yeah, liking, you should like your job. So that's the
Yeah,
key.
I agree. And it's not wrong at all what you're saying, that you need to feel to justify it, that even if sorry, let me rephrase that, that computers and working with them and programming is a hobby. It is what you love to do. Even when
Mhm,
you're not working, you
mhm,
still go back to doing that, and that is absolutely fine.
mhm,
I know many people like that.
mhm.
It runs in your blood.
Yeah.
You almost become a computer. You become a computer, and you just, it's what you love to do. I think I think that as long as you keep you said it earlier, as long as you're happy and there's balance in your life, that you're not neglecting other things,
Yeah.
that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to the students? Now you have a lot more confidence. All of us, we're talking here, we know exactly what our job requires of us. What are the tasks? We walk in, we know, like Alex is saying, I prioritize, I got to get this done, I need to do that. And we know the how, what's the approach to follow. But that's not how it was years ago when we started out our career, and we hear our students always saying that. But why would they give me the job? I can't. I don't think I'm good enough. So I just want you to maybe step out of the shoes of the expert you're in right now, and just remembering the fears you had. What can you say to address them to the students? What advice would you give them to overcome these fears? What doors should they knock on? What things they should do or shouldn't do to get better? Dara, since you're still
Me?
on, yeah,
Okay.
please go
All right.
ahead.
Well, the fear is normal, and fear is a part of human being, and it's we cannot tell people, oh, you don't, kill this sensation. It's not possible. Fear is good because it makes you think about finding solution before the problem even arrives. So uh, I am new in teaching, and at the beginning of semester, I make a calendar. And for the 115 days of the semester, I can show you my calendar. It's an Excel file, and I have for each and every day during that 2, 3 weeks that we have, I manage that what I should do. I even put buffers in the middle. Oh, this chapter, I have never touched the chapter, or this is a new chapter in a new version. So this is a buffer, 2 days that I have time to work on it. So the point is what you can do at your end to make it better. I go to an interview, then I'm waiting for the result of the interview. I got a call from a student this morning, and she told me I got an interview. And I don't know if they're going to take me on. I said, stop it now, go to a park with your kids and enjoy the moment with your kids, because from your end, you can't do anything about it. So, you have to find the source of the fear and then try to manage that, because but fear is a good thing. I mean, it pushes the adrenaline, and you are making you are whatever you can do at your end, do that. I told her. She said, I cannot now go to the park with my kids. I said, okay, open LinkedIn and start applying for other jobs. this is what you can do at your end. It's not, be logic about the
But they,
situation.
yes, but what I mean is I totally agree with you, but
Mhm,
from the perspective of they still need to show a profile that will
mhm,
be attractive to the industry, to the employers. How can they at least get that minimum profile? What's the advice? Like what you just said, I totally agree with you. Fear
mhm,
shows that someone is responsible, but
mhm,
fear also we should control, not to get to our head and become a blocker, to
mhm,
become a wall and make us lose confidence.
mhm,
So I agree with you on that, but we still give advice to our students. Like I say to them, you need to build a portfolio, you need to practice, you need,
mhm.
what would you tell them that helped
Absolutely,
you get better?
absolutely. Do project, do project. At college, I tell them you're just scratching the surface. I cannot teach you Java in 75 hours. And I cannot, or no teacher can teach a language in 60 hours, 90 hours. We are just scratching the surface. And now it's you and your curiosity. Actually, we are not teaching you the technology. We are teaching you what should be your approach and how you solve problem, how you learn technology. Because tomorrow you go to a company and you got to touch a technology that you have never heard about it before. So at college in 2000 hours or 2000 or something hours, we cannot teach you all the technologies, but what we can teach you is how to learn technologies. So this is one thing. Add stuff to your portfolio. What can you make you shiny in the middle of 10 candidates? If you don't have experience, yeah, you're young, you don't have experience, but you have a GitHub, and on that GitHub, you have 20 projects. Of course, if I'm an employer, I'm gonna check that. I said, this one has 20 projects, the other one has 2 projects. What is the complexity of the project? I think adding project is going deeper and making their own project, and this is a good. I don't know, it's a guarantee, but it's a good way to stand out of the others and show that
Agreed.
I
It
am.
shows initiative and perseverance.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dara. Sarah?
Yes. So for me, I have many advice to give that is really important, and I think that helped me a lot. So I will start first with the interviews because I think that is something that everyone struggle with. So my advice for the interviews is before to go there, prepare yourself to the maximum. You need to do research about the company. You need
Mhm,
to do research about their tool. You need to know before they ask you a question. You need to imagine all the questions possible and to have an answer. It's
yeah.
really important. As Dara said, you have your way to show that you are able to do it is with Git, with your project. But also, the human skills are really important. Um, in IT, you need to work in a team. It's wherever you are going to do in that company, you need to work in a team. So always be humble. It's really important. Even if you, it's good, it's not good to have fear, and it's not good to be too confident too. You need to stay humble. You need to show that you are communicative. So to ask help, it's important too. To share your information with your colleagues. You need also to show that you are passionate. Um, it's a lot of human values that are important, that you need to show that um, you are not someone that are going to make trouble there. So for them, the IT skills, you can learn it, you know, but the human skills, you need to have it. It's really important. They can show you all what you have to learn. They can train you. They can. It's for them. It's not an issue. Even if you are going to make a mistake related to IT, talking about anything related to that, it's not an issue. Don't be afraid during an interview to make a mistake with that. But your human skills are really important. It's that way they are going to focus because they cannot change that in you.
Mhm.
They have no possibility, so they need to really take someone that can fit their team. So this is my advice in interviews, and globally in IT. So boys and girls, if you feel any fear about it, like you are not good enough, maybe you don't know everything, because no one, even here, like between us, no one knows everything in IT. We are everyday learning. It never stops.
Very true.
So don't be afraid of that. Just if you need, as I said, to have also the skills that you want to learn and you want to improve yourself. That is the only thing that matters. And don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do it. Don't let yourself tell to yourself that you cannot do it, because either you and other people, nobody knows. The only way to know that if you can do something or you cannot do it is to do it. It's the only way to know. Self-doubts, it's what is going to make you stop, even if you are going to succeed. If you have self-doubts, for sure you will not. So just don't think too much and just do it. Just do it. Continue to learn. There is no failure as soon as you continue, because every day you have chances. Every day you will have possibilities to improve yourself. You will have opportunities. As I told you, nobody knows. Just go straight, work, and stay focused about what you want.
That's a great advice, Sarah. I totally agree with you. I think, unfortunately, for most of the students, there is already that lack of confidence due to being a novice, new in the field. So it is a legitimate fear, but they need to know that that is okay. It's okay. It's just that what's not okay is to stay there, to limit themselves and not to try, because by not trying, then they're not learning. They're not finding out what they're lacking and what they can improve. So I absolutely agree with you. Yes, and yes, Alex, and the stage or the internship is the perfect moment to kind of fill in the blanks and connect all of these pieces together. Thank you, Sarah. So Alex, what advice would you give uh, that Sarah and Dara had not mentioned?
I try to bring something new, not repeating what Dara that brought and Sarah as well. So for me, I think it's going to be really important for you to have discipline, especially in this field. Why? Because you always going to need made some researches by yourself. You always need to looking for technology by yourself. So have discipline is going to be really important, and be focused, because when you not find a solution, you have by yourself try to find. Yes, sometimes you have your friends, sometimes you don't have your friends to help you on that. And then for me, it's really important to have discipline, to get focus, to find the end, the light of the end of the tunnel, okay? Another tip that I can try to give you guys is you must know the concepts. Why? Because I have many students, hey Alex, even professionals, okay? I don't know what language to focus. I don't know what I'm gonna do it. I don't know if I have to go to web, to mobile, to desktop, to database, to artificial intelligence. So IT is a really wild field, okay? And then I totally understand that a lot of pressure to decide what to do it. So, but again, guys, for me, Alex, okay, you need to know the concepts about it. If you don't know, we need to know what's a method. You need to know what's an object. You need to know what's a class. You need to know what's encapsulation, okay? Then you can start to worry about, oh my God, they're gonna learn object-oriented programming. So you need to know these concepts, and then the language is going to be a consequence. Know the concepts, and then the language is a consequence. If you want to work with Java, C#, if you have the concepts, it's going to be easy this change. So don't get so stressed about the language itself. Get worried about the concepts and what that is doing for you, okay? And my last tip for you, don't do it IT for money, okay? I have a listen, okay? Oh, I'm gonna do computer because I'm gonna be rich. Guys, it's not that, okay? I think you have a misconception in what
That's a
IT.
bonus.
Yes, that's a consequence as well. That's not meaning. I have many friends that have carpentries. They have more money than me, and they're happy, you know. That's the point. So if you're doing IT because you're going to be rich and you don't like IT, I think you have to rethink a lot about your life itself, okay? So for me,
Yeah.
discipline, understand the concepts, and enjoy IT. Don't do IT for money. It's going to be your best friend to try to get successful in this field.
Yeah, I think you guys brought up wonderful, wonderful points. Absolutely. And I think you have all different points in your advice mentioned this, but I'm just going to summarize it again, that technology changes all the time. And this is what Dara said. You could take a 75-hour class, a 90-hour class. It's impossible if you're not meeting your end of the bargain to walk out becoming an expert. So you need to invest a lot and be open-minded that there's going to always be new things that you have to invest time and energy learning. And if you don't like it, that all, like all of us have kept saying over and over again, you're going to see this as an obstacle. You're going to see it as like, oh, again, now I'm going to go work for this company, or I'm going to work on this project and I have to learn this technology. Well, welcome to the world of IT. That is the base that you are walking away from. You need to be autonomous, to be willing and able to find solutions on your own, learning on your own. But teamwork, like Sarah had mentioned, is extremely important. Always reaching out to your colleagues, to your friends, asking questions when things are not clear. Staying discipline is very important, Alex. Thank you for mentioning that, because you have to know that you need to practice nonstop. It's every day. It's like a machine. It's repetitive. You need to keep repeating, doing, and learning. It's not going to come to you just like that. Um, I think one of the last things I'd like us to walk away with is, if you can share, that since November of last year, the virus had become a world phenomena, and then in March we had the lockdown, and our lives have changed. We had to adapt to new ways of dealing with things, and we know that many students are struggling with learning online and so forth. So maybe if you could either share with us, how are you handling, the pandemic? How are you? What are you doing to stay positive, to stay optimistic, to adapt, or what advice would you give the students as well to adapt? Whoever of you would like to go ahead and jump in.
I will start. So about that, I think that in each situation in life, you need to stay positive and see what are the advantages. And here, even if it has really a bad impact everywhere in the world, mentally also, you need to see how you can take that and to your advantage. So, for example, working from home or studying from home, no one of us will say that they don't have more hours of sleep because they avoid transport, they avoid they avoid to go outside and come back. So it's also we want a lot of time. Second, it's the fact that now we all have projects in mind, right? We all had dreams, we all had things that we wanted to do, we wanted to start, but because of the lack of time, we could not do it. And I think it's the opportunity, because this virus is not going to last forever. So for sure, so try to take this time to really do something that you all your life wanted to do, but you didn't have the opportunity, you didn't have you could not focus, you were distracted by other things. So I think it's important, each one of you, to ask this question to yourself. Okay, if in my life I wanted to do a project, a personal project, what would be? So, and start it. I think you will regret it if you don't do it now. because after this pandemic, things will go really fast. So it's really your chance now to do it. And another advice is to adapt yourself. For example, me, I changed all the decoration in my apartment to feel better in it, because I stay now most of my time here. I also introduced in my life things that keeps me healthy. So it's really important. Even if you don't go outside, there is a lot of things that you can do inside, then you can change your mind. So it's really important to add that in your. Don't live like before the COVID. Now, like try to, for example, yes, before I was going outside every day to do that or that, and now I cannot. No, now because of COVID, I can do it, but I will do it inside or by another way or replace it. But you need to adapt yourself. Don't live in the past. The world is changing and it always change. So just adapt yourself and try to go forward now.
That's a very healthy approach. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing that. Alex?
Yes, sure. Well, I think that's why we're here, because humans, they can adapt to many situations, from dinosaurs, from wars, and we here, I think we are again in the situation that we need to adapt. Okay. And I think we're gonna pass through this. But yes, so I go a little bit with Sarah, because I'm trying to keep it my mind in the same approach, like trying to do the whole routines. I'm trying to follow the routines. For example, when I give classes, I dress up like I have to go out, just to keep it the routine, you know. And then I can, my brain at least, okay, Alex, you are going to work, we are going to give our classes, okay. But again, I just go to the washroom, put the clothes, and came to my office, but it's 10 steps only, but it's good, okay? Another point that I'm trying to put limits on technology when I'm at home, because now everything's online, so my kids are online, I'm online, so I'm trying to avoid that, as Sarah said, to have like a regular life. I'm trying to turn off TV, I'm trying to play with my kids, to read a story with them, to play a song, to dance, you know, and then we keep like connections, health connections. And I'm trying to do exercises, because exercise is good for your brain, you know, for natural endorphin to keep you happy and not get depressed. But yes, guys, I think is try to not get so closed, you know, try to get open. And if you need it, now let's use technology. You can make a video conference with a friend. Now it's free. There is your cell phone, you know, so talk to your friends, talk your family around if you cannot leave. So try to not keep reclused and just keep at your home in a dark place. That's going to make sad and make you depressed. So avoid that, okay, for me.
Yes, I agree with you, Alex. Thank you. Dara?
Nariman, just 2 minutes. I want to underline 2 points about what Sarah said and what Alex said before, and then I'm going to answer to this. First of all, is behavior. Working on a behavior to start at college. Some students, they have some problem, just as an example, in the teamwork. And they went, Sir, I want to work alone. I said, no, it's not possible. Why? Because that person doesn't work, the other person doesn't work. I want to do it alone. I am capable to do it alone. I said, when you go to the workplace, you work in a team. We want a team player. We don't want somebody who works in silo, as we said, alone. So, and learning it to start here. Because if you say, for any behavior, like managing the behaviors, if you start to do it the day that you go to the workplace, then that's serious, because it's going to take you time, years to fix it. But now you can fix it. You have the opportunity here at college to fix it. So start now. The second thing is, I want all the students understand this. I am not pretending that at La Salle we are giving the best education ever, but you don't need to have experience. I have right now 2 examples that are here in the industry. One girl and one boy, both of them were my students. And they came to me at the beginning and they said, I have no background in IT, zero. no background in IT. I'm sure if I mention their name, you know them, Nariman. But and these are not the only examples. They work hard during their staying at La Salle. And guys, believe me, they have an extraordinary salary. And they work for big companies here in Montreal. So it doesn't mean that in a year and a half, in 2 years, 2 years and a half, oh, I cannot get a job because my colleagues at class or my classmates, this guy has 5 years experience, the other one has two bachelors. And no, no, no. If you work hard, and one of them is Reshma, you know Reshma, and she came to me the first week and said, I have no clue. I have never been in IT, but I'm ready to work hard. And she worked hard, and this is not the only one. So that was my second point. About the pandemic, okay, we have a saying in Iran, because I was born in Iran, and the saying is a bit bizarre, but I'm going to try to translate it. To say, when you are in a problem or when you are in a bad situation and you can't do anything about it, try to enjoy it. So, and
It means just live with it,
live with it.
accept it. Yeah.
As Alex and Sarah said, just adapt to it. For me, I think the pandemic is amazing. And why is that is amazing? Because I learned to teach online, something that I could never imagine I go online when I start my career in teaching 2 years and a half ago. And now I learned to teach online. So isn't it amazing? So instead of staying and saying that, oh, online we have a lot of problems, it's another branch, it's another speciality added to. As at La Salle, we had the platform online for many, many years, that 10, 15 years or more maybe. But now they have decided to make a big division for an online. So some people see negative stuff, some people see opportunity. And I see that for me, it was amazing because I am learning how to teach online.
I think just to clarify what Dara means, just because I don't want people to misunderstand that that you're saying the pandemic is amazing in the sense that, because I know some people will say, what, that's not what he means.
Yeah.
What he means is that you're looking at a bad situation and you're
Mhm.
trying to say we have no way out of it.
Mhm.
This is what's happening right now, and we're all saying we know this is not going to last
Mhm.
forever. We are praying for that. We are
Mhm.
working towards that. So now, since we are in it, how can we look at opportunities
Mhm.
to adapt, to see good things that we can use given the time? Like Sarah mentioned, the commuting time now has gone out of our schedule. Some people might find themselves working more, some
Mhm.
people might find themselves working less. It's just given it is a situation
Yeah.
that we have to deal with, how can we use it to our advantage instead of collapsing and weeping and seeing it only as a negative thing that there's no way out of? So I agree with you, Dara. I agree with everybody. I think that it's an opportunity for us to count our blessings,
Mhm.
to see. For me, what I tell people is that there's little things we took for granted, such as simply breathing air outside, being able to take a walk, we took that for granted. Being able to see loved ones, to just be able to go visit somebody, just to go to the grocery store at
Yeah.
any time you want without worrying about standing in line. Little things we took for granted. This helped us realize, no, don't take anything for granted. All of these things we have are appreciated. The fact that we're healthy, the fact that we connect, thanks to technology, that we are still able to talk, to
Yeah.
continue our life, to learn, to work, to
Mhm.
connect with people. So there are lots of things we need to focus on, not to lose hope. And we all want to walk out at the end of this with added um, not, I don't want to say skills, but with added strength,
Mhm.
right? To say, this helped me learn this. And I think
Mhm.
that you all agree with me
Yeah.
that we can only improve as human beings when we face a challenge.
Yeah.
If we stay status quo, we are not challenging our values, our system, our body, our physical, mental. If we stay where we are, we never know our capacity. We never know our strengths, our weaknesses. We don't develop as human beings.
Mhm.
But only when we hit a challenge that we need to dig deep below the surface and see how we can improve as human beings. And the fact that you all decided also to give out of your time on a Sunday, as this is pre recorded as a webinar, just proves how wonderful human beings you are. And that your smiles as well are sending hope to everyone. So I think at the end, just 30 seconds from each one of you. Is there a closing remark, advice, word you just want to close with before we end our webinar?
So I will start again. It doesn't bother you. So, okay, my last advice is, so, guys, even if you have any fear, even if you have any question, don't keep that for you. Share it with anybody here. Also, us. I can put my email. Maybe Naiman can share with you my email so I can answer to your question if you have more questions. Um, Also, as I told you, don't think too much on negative things. Try to stay always positive. I know it's hard, but I swear it will change your life. Try to stay positive, and even with this pandemic, try to stay positive. Don't wait that to end to come back to your life, or no. Try to continue to live your life in a positive way, and regarding to IT, just be comfortable with that, because IT is really a huge, huge, huge area. So even if you didn't find exactly what you want, you just didn't check everything. So just, guys, as I told you, stay positive, always improve yourself. Communicate with your relatives, with your teachers, with your classmates. Communicate with them. Share your fears, share your thoughts. I am sure that everyone is sharing the same worries. So and just continue to go forward, and things for sure will get better for everyone.
Thank you, Sarah. Yes, form a strong community.
Yes.
Dara?
I hope that people who listen to this with or different backgrounds, they understood that it wasn't easy for us. And we came from different background and we had our struggles. And I want them to understand that it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. It's not
That's right.
easy. You have to be persistent and you have to
Mhm.
stay with the problems, and you just continue working and studying, and you can make it as we did.
That's true. Absolutely. Thank you, Dara. Alex?
Well, I think it's most important to be thankful. Doesn't matter what religion, what beliefs, what are your crowns, but just be thankful for everything that you have, that you're going to experience. Okay.
Mhm.
And yes, if you're watching this webinar until the end, that means that you have a differential between the others. So that's a really good approach as well. So again, never give up, follow your dreams, follow what you want, be thankful, and have good friends. That's going to make out a total difference in your life.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. People who will encourage you and lift you up. So, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dara, Sarah, Alex. This was really a pleasure. We shared lots of good points. I hope that this was useful to the people watching. If you have any questions after watching this, please just write your questions in the chat and we will be able to answer you. Any specific topics, maybe about technologies, about hardships, challenges, struggles that you would like us to talk about. And what we can do also is on another point, based on the questions or the topics you would have liked to hear about, we could record another session like that and either do it live or pre-record it and be able to answer all your concerns. Thank you very much and have a wonderful rest of Tech Week. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.